Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 14th annual Walk a Mile in Her Shoes event. I'm Paul Michaels, morning show host for 105.9 The Hog and program director for Big Radio.
And I'm Brittany Armin, reporter at NBC 15 in Madison, and Paul and I will be your MCs for the evening. Thank you for joining us tonight virtually through Zoom and Facebook Live. We hope you had a chance to check out the online silent auction. If not, the online bidding will continue through noon on Wednesday of next week, and that is noon on August 12th. A link to the silent auction can be found on YWCA's website, YWCARockCounty.org, and on YWCA Rock County's Facebook page. And all of the money raised benefits domestic violence resources.
And Brittany, that's why we're coming together tonight. We are here to take a stand against domestic violence. In less than 30 minutes, we will walk out those doors and send a powerful message to our community. By putting on the heels and walking 1 mile, we are letting domestic violence victims know that they have our support. And we are letting abusers know their violent actions will not be tolerated.
And Paul, this is truly such a great cause, and tonight's event would not be possible without community support. So with that in mind, we want you to take a look at your screen and thank the sponsors who made this night possible. And you can see the sponsors on your screen now. And we'd also like to take a moment to thank the staff and volunteers of the Walk a Mile in Her Shoes event committee, who worked really hard through challenging circumstances to make tonight's virtual event a reality.
We'd also like to thank our 2020 Walk a Mile in Her Shoes ambassadors. They've been working really hard this summer, pulling together teams, raising money, and helping spread the word about tonight's event. This event started as a community-led event, and to this day, ambassadors, such as this year's group, keep the momentum going. Our ambassadors get involved to make a difference. And one of those ambassadors, Andrea Arrett, recorded this message on why she signed up to help this year.
I walk because I have a voice. I have a voice that I'm willing to use for others who are not able to safely use their own. Over the course of the past 16 years, I have professionally witnessed just how domestic violence can impact individuals, families, and entire communities. I have sat with victims and survivors. I've held their hands, I've watched them cry, and I've listened to their horrific stories. I've interviewed children who've witnessed and often gotten involved in incidents of domestic violence. It's not easy. These incidents can impact children for the rest of their lives. I also walk because I have children of my own, children who I've taught to stand up for those that are not able to stand up for themselves. I also walk because I believe that education is the strongest tool in raising awareness to this horrible problem that we have in our community. Thank you to everybody who's joined the cause this year. You all have had a powerful impact on raising awareness for domestic violence victims and survivors, and for raising funds to help them and our YWCA domestic violence shelter program.
And for many of us, saying this year is a bit different is an understatement. But for domestic violence victims, COVID-19 created a crisis within a crisis. When Wisconsin issued the safer at home order, many of us felt safe in our homes with our families. Now imagine for a moment if your home wasn't actually safe, but rather a place where you lived in constant fear. For domestic violence victims who are in their homes with their abusers, COVID-19 took away many of the places they could go for that temporary relief. Places like churches and workplaces were shut down, and we were all told to stay home.
Now, throughout this pandemic, YWCA Rock County and the dedicated staff remain committed to abuse victims. YWCA Rock County found ways to continue their vital domestic violence programs. And your support of this event through your attendance online here today, your donations, your bids in the silent auction help ensure domestic violence victims always have a safe place to turn, no matter what we're facing as a community.
And we'd like to go ahead and turn it over to Kim Lanta, and YWCA Rock County Board President. She's going to talk a little bit more about these domestic violence programs and why events like this are needed here in our community. Kim?
Thank you, Brittany and Paul. And thank you to everyone who's joining us tonight virtually, and to all of the ambassadors and community supporters who were working hard throughout the summer to help make this event a success. The programs at the YWCA are vital here in Rock County. Each year, the programs help hundreds of victims regain a sense of control. The YWCA Rock County helps its clients go from victims to survivors. Through the Alternatives to Violence program in 2019, the YWCA Rock County took in 75 women and 99 children into their emergency domestic violence shelter. That adds up to more than 7,500 shelter nights. Staff and volunteers also answered more than 700 calls to the 24-hour emergency crisis line and assisted more than 180 people through legal advocacy. The YWCA Rock County provides extended housing and case management for domestic violence victims through the Transitions program. Transitions is located in downtown Janesville at the historic Jeffries Flat building. Those who come to the Transitions program go through an extensive program that's meant to return the victim to independent life. In 2019, we helped 20 adults and 59 children make this transition. I want to reiterate this because it's important. Your support of these programs and your participation in Walk a Mile in Her Shoes helps these victims become survivors.
Thank you so much, Kim. As part of the domestic violence programming, YWCA of Rock County works with law enforcement agencies throughout the area to make sure victims are connected with the resources they need.
We would like to share messages from some of those partner agencies now.
Good afternoon. Sheriff Troy Knutson, Rock County Sheriff's Office. First and foremost, I'd just like to say thank you. Thank you for attending this virtual Walk a Mile in Her Shoes fundraising event. Obviously, with the COVID situation that we're dealing with, we weren't able to meet in person, but I am so glad that the organizers of this event were able to find another way to continue, because this is such an incredibly important cause and the need is so significant that I think it's important that it continues on even though we're not able to meet in person. You know, in the course of a law enforcement career, you see a lot of things that most people in the community don't have to see. And I've been very fortunate through the years. Many of my cases have been relatively routine, but there have been a few that will stand out, a few that I will probably never forget, and at least two of them specifically revolved around the issue of domestic violence. In one case, I vividly remember some very terrifying circumstances that a couple of young ladies had to deal with until I was able to arrive to address the situation that they found themselves in. In another situation, I remember the victim and the incredible injuries that she had sustained at the hands of the suspect in that domestic violence situation. And now, even though it's been 20 years, it still raises my blood pressure to think of what it is that she had to go through. Domestic violence, those words are so inadequate to describe what it is that some people have to endure and to go through that they should never have to. You know, it's not a matter of simple statistics. You know, every case isn't just a number, it's a face, it's an individual. You know, it's the victims and it's the suspects who are in that cycle of violence. It's families that are affected, children who, unless we do something to interrupt the cycle of violence, have the potential to be the next generation of abusers or victims. So I think it really brings home to me the importance of organizations like the YWCA. They are really working hard to break that cycle of violence and make our community a better place. They are there to provide help to people who feel trapped, to give them protection, to give them shelter and money, child care, legal resources. And these are just such important resources for somebody who's trying to escape domestic violence. And I appreciate all that they do, and they're working hard, and yet at the same time, they need help. They need support in order to continue to provide these resources. And that's what an event like this is all about. In the past, I have attended some of these Walk a Mile in Her Shoes fundraising events, and I have seen some absolutely incredible generosity in terms of money that's been raised and donated, as well as some pretty amazing bids on some silent auction items that have been donated and put up for auction. Hopefully, in this year's event, even though it has to take place virtually, hopefully that generosity still exists. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please donate generously and be a part of the event. And let's do what we can to stop this cycle of violence and to help our community.
Hi, Captain Andre Sales, City of Beloit Police Department here. Due to COVID-19, we're unable to walk with you tonight in the Walk a Mile in Her Shoes campaign. We understand the importance of this event as it allows us an opportunity to reflect on the things that women go through on a daily basis. We looked forward to this event throughout the last 8 months during 2020, but unfortunately the pandemic has caused us not to be there with you tonight. We at the Beloit Police Department understand the importance of this event as we work very closely with the YWCA of Rock County in regards to curtailing the ever-growing domestic violence incident and the sexualized violence. The City of Beloit Police Department understands the importance of this and stands by everybody that stands up against domestic violence and sexualized violence. We look forward to the pandemic going away, so therefore next year in 2021 we all can walk together and men can understand the importance of what women go through on a daily basis. Once again, we apologize that we couldn't be there with you tonight, but we are with you in spirit and we understand the importance of this event. We look forward to being there with you next year and walking a mile in your shoes. Thank you. Once again, Andre Sales, Captain of Patrol, City of Beloit Police Department.
We're also thrilled to have Janesville Police Chief Dave Moore joining us now. I know Chief Moore, this is an event that he's participated in year after year, so I'm going to let him explain to you what makes this so important to him and the Janesville Police Department.
Thank you, Paul. The YWCA has been a great partner of ours for over a decade with addressing domestic violence. Our officers are really good at making arrests and arresting the offenders. But what we're not so good at is spending a lot of time with our victims, building relationships, and that aftercare. And that's where the cooperation with YWCA is so important. We can build those relationships. We can provide that aftercare. We can make a real difference, and we can stop the cycle of violence. But here we are in 2020 in the COVID pandemic, and we know that many of our victims are at home with their abusers. In some cases, they don't have the financial ability to leave. So now, more than ever, we need your help. Please contribute. Today, you send a message of no domestic violence, not here, not now.
All right, thank you, Chief. And to work with these law enforcement agencies with the support of YWCA Rock County's domestic violence programs, make a difference in domestic violence victims' lives.
And tonight we're able to share one of those stories for you. For her safety, we are not identifying her by name. Tonight's story comes from a woman who was helped by YWCA Rock County and its domestic violence shelter.
The YWCA has helped me a whole lot. They bent over backwards for me when I was there. I have made so many changes in my life since I've met the staff there. The things they have helped me with are dealing with my emotions to even learning parenting skills to be a better, stronger, patient mother. They also work with my son as well. He definitely made changes just to be a toddler. The YWCA has taught my son how to talk, how to use his words, and even learn his colors. The YWCA have taught me even how to cope and deal with things in my life. The YWCA staff are the most helpful people I have ever met in my life. If you really want a fresh start for yourself and show effort, the YWCA is the best place to be. They offer one-on-one and grouping support and are really willing to help people make a change. The YWCA has actually showed me that I am somebody and I can be anything and do anything if I put my mind to it. The YWCA is a caring, loving place that really will help you make a change in your life and your children's lives as well.
Amazing stuff. Thank you so much for sharing that story. Eliminating domestic violence will take a community-wide effort. Tonight, we are raising awareness for that cause by going out and walking 1 mile. We encourage everyone to stream your walk live on social media or share photos or videos of your walk with your friends, family, and the YWCA of Rock County.
And those of you who submit your photos and videos to YWCA Rock County will be entered to win this prize that I'm holding here. And you can submit your photos and videos through Facebook or by email. And all the details are listed on ywcarockcounty.org.
Now, as we get ready to send you on your way, remember the silent auction closes on Wednesday of next week, which is August 12th. Also, there is still time to donate to our ambassadors and other team campaigns. All the links are in one place on YWCA Rock County's website.
Again, thank you to everyone watching tonight, to the Walk a Mile in Her Shoes ambassadors, and to the event committee, and to everyone who is supporting this incredible cause. And I think it's time, Paul, so now it's time for everyone to put on your shoes and start walking.
And we look forward to seeing all of your photos and videos. So good night for now, and everyone have a safe walk.